You know what? You're not going to believe this. And it's okay. It'll still work. You just have to do it. You don't have to believe it. So I might as well just tell you, okay? I'll just tell you. You're going to be trained, should you choose to accept it, to receive a series of signals that will lead you to a negative medical test for heart disease and beyond. See, I should probably repeat this in different words a few times. You're going to be trained to get, produce, and receive, and interpret, and understand a series of signals that will lead you, like you're going to follow a thread of signals. You're going to bring yourself through and out of the heart disease to a negative medical test, a battery of medical tests that all show no heart disease, no scarring. Okay, you tested for a previous heart attack. What happened to the scarring? It's gone. That's what you're going to be trained to do. This will be difficult, quite possibly, and take time. You know, it might take you months before you get a completely clean medical test. And now I'm going to tell you something that you probably really don't want to hear. After you get this clean negative medical test, you're still going to have heart disease. Heart disease doesn't necessarily always show up on a medical test. And you see, how can I put this? Heart disease isn't something that's happening to you. It's actually something that your body has learned to do. I mean, this may not make any sense to you at all right now, okay? I don't blame, I mean, look, you're entering an alien reality. People don't cure heart disease. It's not done. It doesn't happen. It never happens, okay? People write their PhDs on heart disease, and there is nothing in those PhD doctoral dissertations about curing it or how you can. They just write about what it is and stuff, you know, and there are tens of thousands of them, and they get PhDs from Harvard for doing this. And here's this jerk in a park. I mean, this is an alien reality, okay? I'm like sitting out here in a wildlife area telling you you can get a negative medical test, and not only that, but so is this bumper sticker. See that? This bumper sticker says you can do it. And those people, that's what you have to remember as you enter this and hear this stuff, none of which makes sense, you know, none of which is going to make sense to you. You need to know that these people cured these things, but with this, what I'm showing you how to do, and what the other people here are going to show you how to do. Because when you do a cure show, which, you know, we could use a lot more cure shows on heart disease. So when you get going with this, one thing you might want to do is give us a holler, you know, and we'll set up a cure show with you. And usually, you know, 3 or 4 volunteers, or sometimes 5 for heart disease, probably 5 or 6 volunteers will show up. And together with you, they will work out how you cure it. That's what they do. And most of these volunteers never had heart disease, but they can still work it out because this is the skill. This is what you learn here. See, this ain't faith healing, okay? You don't fall down in a trance. Like, you know what you're doing and how to do it and how to show somebody else how to do it, and you can do it again. And you may not be able to explain it, but it's a whole lot easier to do than to explain. And if you did lesson number 1, you know what I'm talking about. So, okay, so the question is, now that I'm talking about the series of signals, you're going to follow this thread of signals, okay, to this cure, such that it is, which it, you know, and you by the way, you're going to be one of these, okay? This is what we want. You know, I'm telling you it won't be cured, yet you will be reporting your cures in the poll. So that's the paradox, see? Which means, doesn't it, that of these, well, now it's 50-something thousand cures, a lot of these cures may have been, you know, negative medical tests, but they may not have been final cures. I mean, a lot of them were negative medical tests, actually, but they weren't final cures. And also, a lot of them were reports of the disappearance of physical symptoms, like the person's flu disappeared, let's say. You know, by the way, speaking of heart disease, I'm a number 1 candidate for heart disease because, oh, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Bayard. Hi, I was Cure Zero in the Cure Drive. I cured 2 kinds of herpes. And one of them, HSV1, is a cause of heart disease. So, and I'm 63. So it's a good thing I cured my herpes back in 1993, isn't it? Because if I hadn't cured it, you know, like before I went through my 50s and into my 60s, I might very well not be teaching you how to cure heart disease right now because I might be dead of a heart attack. Come to think of it. Come to think of it. Yes, you are fortunate that I cured my herpes. I want you to know I did it for you. I care nothing about myself. I do everything for you. So anyway, this is what we want, okay? We want you to be one or some of these cures and donate your money and your time and your voice by telling the world that you have cured your heart disease and that other people can also. Because see, that's what this says. You know, when somebody sees this on your car, this says to them, you can do it. It says you can cure. You know, that's the message on the bumper sticker. Okay, so now that I've said this, okay, what are these signals and how do you get them? That's the question you should be asking and be interested in understanding. And if you did lesson number 1, you know there's 4 signals. And generally what most people think when they hear this is, well, it's got to be the finger movement, you know, because that's the most unusual. It's like the weirdest thing we do, you know. And it's kind of stands out for people, so they think, well, it's got to be that, you know. That's the signal that makes the thread that you follow. But actually, it's not. So now you got the other 3 signals left. So, and it's not the negative medical test because the signal is bringing you to the negative medical test. So, okay, now that I've said that there's 2 left, which do you think it is? You know, take a guess.